So this is the syllabus. This is the cover page, foundation course. I'll be taking this for this semester 2. Okay. Now let me just give me 1 second. Let me attach the vacuum tablet so that I can write also. So here we go. The course objective will be foundation course. The objective is going to be the same for the foundation course 1, which was taken by Simran ma'am, and the objective again I'm going to repeat. Basically, we want all of us to get aware about the Indian society, to introduce students to the overview of the Indian society. Why do we want to know that? Because since you will be in media, you should have an overall knowledge of how our society system works and what are the components of our Indian society, because Indian society is a very varied term, because it has got so many religions, so many cults, so many sects, so many communities, so many languages, and all people from all walks of life. So we need to know that it's not an easy culture, because it's just like the United States, because United States has people from all over the world. Now India is a very vast country. There are so many different languages spoken, there are so many different culture here, and then there are tribal region, there are villages, there are metropolitan, there are 3-tier cities. Okay, so all of them have a different way of living, all of them have different viewpoint because of the geographical background also. Some of them are hilly areas, some of them are plateau areas, some of them are plains, some of them are coastal areas. So everything counts, everything has a different impact on the society. So we need to be aware of everything, including the geographical position, including the topography of the country, so that when there is a talk about India, Indian society, we are not caught unaware. We should be exposed to everything. Living in a Bombay, you have this advantage that you get to know so many people from various backgrounds. Some people come from Odisha, some from West Bengal, some from Northeast, some from South India, some from North India. So you have already got a mixture of people living all around you. But for a villager, it's very strange for him to see any North Indian citizen, because either through the television he must have gone, but he's never come in contact with them. So this is the reason there is a syllabus designed, so that you are aware about the Indian society. What are the different tiers of Indian societies? Okay, we'll be talking all of them in detail in this foundation course. And the second point, that objective we have, is to understand the Constitution of India. Constitution of India is a rule book where every citizen has the similar right, every citizen has to follow the same duty, every citizen is given privileges. Okay, what are his rights, what are his duties, what are the demands that he can have, it's basically a rule book. Okay, so being a citizen, you should understand that you are living in India. So what is the Constitution of India? How should we live? What are our strengths, and where we should invest our invest in the sense, how can we give back to the society. Now third objective will be to acquaint ourselves with the socio-political problems of India. So now once we know Indian society, once we know Constitution of India, once we know thoroughly the Constitution of India and the loopholes that are there, which some people take advantage of, so we'll be able to understand the social problems of India, will be able to understand the political problems of India. Okay, so these are the course objective. Okay, now why, after having keeping these objectives in our mind, and we have designed a syllabus foundation course 2 for you. So there will be many outcomes of this whole study. The first, after completing the course, you will be able to explain different aspects of liberalization. So in foundation course 2, we'll be dealing about more on liberalization, privatization, globalization, and what are their impact on social life, cultural life, economic impact of globalization in India. So when did globalization happen in India? What was the industrial policy 1956, and how different it is from the new industrial policy 1991? And after new industrial policy 1991, there had been some changes in that also. So we'll be discussing all of them in the, this will be first outcome, and we'll be dealing with this in the unit 1. Now second outcome will be, what are the human rights, what are the concepts of human rights, why should we have, because some sect of the society, they are downtrodden, they are suppressed. So basically, to make them aware that you also have the right to fight. If somebody wants to suppress you, you can raise your voice. You have to. And then second objective outcome will be to assess the role of philosophers. Philanthropists means these people, they work on the downtrodden society, disadvantaged people. So they basically educate them and explain the landmark events in the evolution of human rights. From when did we started talking about human rights? Because earlier society was like on might and use. If somebody is mighty, he would try to rule on the other people who were weaker. But during the late 20th century, we started talking about human rights because United Nations came into force. Okay, when United Nations came into force, there were so many guidelines issued there that each and every individual has the right. It's not the world of mighty people. It's for everybody. So they come forward and they try to uplift the weaker section. So here is the concept of human right that plays a role in making everybody, every citizen of the world, a global citizen and enjoy everything that anybody can have. What will be the third outcome, learning outcome for the foundation course? That we'll be able to understand our human environment interrelationship. What is the relationship between human beings and the environment? Because human beings cannot live without environment. Human being cannot live in silos. So United Nations has actually set up goal plan so that we can develop our nearby area, so that in the vicinity where we are living, we try to maintain the ecological balance over there, try to try to not to harm the environment. Basically, even if we are setting up industries, what should be the objective? That whatever pollution is going out of your industrial unit, it should be neutralized. Okay, so this is the way we'll be able to deal with this topic, and this will be the third outcome of this foundation course 2. Basically, we have to live with this environment. Human being cannot live separately from the environment, right? Isn't it? We take so much from the environment. So it will be very bad idea if we leave the environment degraded for our future generation. We have taken this earth on a lease from our future generation. We owe it to them. So the way we have got it from our ancestor, we should be not making it worse. We should at least keep it the same way if we cannot make it better. Because if we continue doing these activities, in very short time, in very, very, very short time, you will see that it's already started. If you remember, I have taken your current affairs, we have talked about global warming there, right? It has already started degrading. Ozone layer depletion has already started. And all these have happened because of large scale of industrial development that has happened in the past 200 years. So at the same time, we cannot say no to the development. So, but we have to devise some strategies so that uh, we can maintain this environment. If not, make it better. You know, long time back, when there was less of human interference and intervention in the environment, um, the earth was totally green, and most of the places were, covered with forest. Only few patches were there where human being used to, clear that patch and then live on that. But at that time also, that was thousands of years ago, uh, they used to move from one patch to another, because after some time they used to realize that this patch is not able to generate the quality of food, and this is getting depleted. So they used to leave that patch so that it regrows again, and they used to clear another piece of land for that. So when thousands of hundreds of years ago, when they had this sense, why not now? We are so much educated now. So what should we do? We have to give earth a chance to replenish itself, which we are not doing. So this is the most important topic that we'll be dealing in this, and this will be the outcome. That means you will become more responsible towards your environment, because life is not about Wi-Fi and a phone connection. Life is all about number of trees around you. Okay, so the outcome number 4 that we'll be having after finishing this whole semester, will be able to identify all those situations that create stress. So we'll be talking about stress and conflict in the unit 4, and what are the various strategies that we will devise so that we can reduce the stress in the environment. Stress nowadays, you even young children, they are facing stress. Forget about the middle-aged people who have to serve their family. Everybody is going through a lot of stress basically means when you try to you have a rubber band and you try to stretch it, so there is a lot of stress that is created in that piece. So in our life also, we are pushing ourselves to boundaries so much that, like, we don't get time to relax. So when we are so much stretched, there is a stress that is created in our mind. And sometimes the stress can be positive, sometimes the stress can be negative, and sometimes it is neutral also. Okay, so we'll be talking about all of these things in detail, and that will be the learning outcome 4. What will be the learning outcome number 5? Will disseminate the knowledge about the impact of globalization. So first unit and the fifth one, they are interrelated. So again, we'll be talking about human rights. So now look, outcome number 2 will come in the fifth one. So basically fifth outcome is the mix of everything. Mix of outcome 1, outcome 2, outcome 3, outcome 4. So we'll be talking about globalization, we'll be talking about the evolution of human rights, then sustainable development goals, how to manage stress, how to manage conflict, how to understand and express lessons learned in the form of answers, apply the information acquired in the assignments and presentation, then how to examine critically what we have learned. Okay, one second, there's some problem here. Yeah, so we'll be dealing about examine critically what we have learned and establish the connection with the present situation and be in a position to evaluate the value of. See, if we have understood everything, like Indian society, Constitution of India, political and social problems that are there in India, now we have to look at those problems, everything from the current perspective. How can we deal with the situation? What are the current problems? That is why this course is designed so well. Like, you have been taught also about the current affairs. This is the reason, so that you can use every information so that you can come up with the solution. Only you will be able to come up with a solution when you are aware what is happening around, along with you have learned the basic foundation things of the Indian society. Is that clear? Now, what is the syllabus for this year? In the unit number 1, we'll be talking about the globalization and the Indian society. As I've already discussed, here we are, globalization and Indian society. So we'll understand what is liberalization, what is globalization, and what is privatization. So maybe in the second lecture of today, we'll be talking about this. Okay. Now, second part will be, because there is a lot of growth of information and technology in the past 30-40 years, and what are the impact of this information technology, how it has manifested in everyday life. From the past 30 years, we have been using cell phone. Earlier there were no cell phones, but there has been drastic change in the lifestyle of people after they have started using computers and they've started using cell phones. And so technology, from normal cell phone to Android, Apple iPhone, so we have a mini laptop in our hand. We have become so much empowered. Like, you are with a phone, Android phone in your hand, it is like a small laptop, it's like a small PC in your hand. You can do so many things in that. You can even search the net, you can even calculate, you can make your Excel sheet, you can do anything, you can do photography, you can record a video, so many things in your hand. That is why they said this cell phone is like a is like an important tool. You can't do without that even for a single moment. This is the fear of missing out. Once you leave your cell phone for 5-10 minutes, you become restless, because there's so many things that you are doing in that. This is how it has manifested in our daily life. Now, third unit will be talking about what was the impact of globalization on the industries, and how it changed the employment structure, and how it helped in the migration of people from one place to another. Okay. Now, fourth unit will be dealing, because Indian society is basically an agrarian society. That means it relies more on the agriculture for its sustenance. So, changes in agrarian society due to globalization. What happened after globalization? Was there any change that happened in the agrarian society? So we'll be dealing with that question. Now, in that unit only, we'll be also talking about rise in the corporate farming. Corporate farming is different from individual farming, because here things are grown in wholesale quantity, in numbers, like big hectares, big lands of pieces of lands are taken, and one thing is grown at a time. Okay. It's not that small pieces of land having everything, each and every, grain and every vegetable in small pieces. So corporate farming has its own benefit, because you are dealing with the quantity here, and everybody is involved in growing one type of crop. So they help each other, and it becomes easy. Sometime in corporate farming, what happens is, because the area is such a large area, even helicopter se bhi you can put the fertilizers, or you can put the pesticide with the help of helicopters or a big type of tube wells, and they can be used. So there is a shift from that. Now in the unit number 2, so we'll be dealing with the human rights and how it has evolved. Concept of human right kaise aaya? Who started it? Okay, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in the UN Charter, usme what are the things that have been mentioned there? Okay, why should we be aware of our human rights? Because there is still so much of there's so much of innocence in society that they don't even know that they can raise their voice against the injustice. Because and it is happening in so many countries. There are wars. You do you know that you can raise your voice against war because you don't want to get there's so much of disturbance that is caused because of the war. So you can even raise your voice against uh, any political party. You can raise your voice if you are not allowed to um, live your life according to your wishes. Like if you are not disturbing anybody, and if you want to follow certain religion, and there's some sect of society that is or some political people who are not allowing you to do that, you can raise your voice. So this is the impact of Human Right Commission, because they are there to make you aware that you have the right to live your life according to your wishes, according to your way. Okay, now third unit may will be dealing with human right constituents with special reference to fundamental rights, which is stated in the Constitution of India. So according to the Constitution of India, we have got many fundamental rights which are called basic rights. So we'll be dealing with that also. And with the rights comes the duty also. So we'll not be right now dealing with the duties, but we'll be only talking about the human rights. Now, what is the role of NGO in uplifting the society and making them aware of their human rights? Okay, because as I've told you, people are not aware that they can raise their voice against something which is making them feel downtrodden or making them feel miserable. So these NGOs, they come and educate these type of people. Even not these type of people, I mean very even intelligent people, they are not aware of their rights. Okay, so these NGOs, they help them because they know the law, they know what are the rights, what can be done, which people to approach. So this is the role, like what NGOs will be, how NGOs will be helping the people. In the third unit, we'll be dealing with ecology. So again, as I told you, human and environment relationship. Okay, what is the meaning of ecology? What are the components of environmental factors that impact human beings, and how human beings, they impact environment? Okay, so what is environmental degradation? What is the cause and what is the impact of environmental degradation on human life? MC Mehta's case law. Acha, there is one more thing. 2 years back, 2 or 3 years back, before the pandemic had hit, I think 3 years back, there had been floods in Kerala, and very devastating, very sad situation, where like most of the coastal land got eroded because of the water and the floods. So but that was predicted by one environmentalist from India, that this is soon going to happen. And he had published his case study, and he has told the politician that this is the situation, and if you are not going to take care of this thing, within 1 or 2 years, there is going to be a major mishap that is going to happen in the coastal areas of Kerala. And that actually happened after some time. So these environmentalists um, when they come up with something, those things should not be ignored. You know why it has happened? Because there had been lot of construction work that was happening on the coastal areas, and coastal area is a piece of land which is like um, it's always, subjected to the waves and the pressure that is created by the waves and other things. So when there's lot of constructions happening, the land piece get disturbed. There's a crack that develops, and those cracks are not visible on the surface, but these big environmentalists, they study these topographies to understand how things are changing within 1 year, 2 years, and a 10-year gap. So when they see the land structure and they come up with a solution, these things are not to be ignored. Okay, so this is MC Mehta's case law, which I am going to talk about in detail when we'll be dealing with the unit 3 in ecology. Okay, now in unit 4 we'll be dealing with the issues of trade-off between development and environment. How much development should be there so that it does not impact the environment around you. So we'll be also talking about environmental Kuznets curve. Okay, now in the 4th unit we'll be dealing with stress and conflict. Why do we want to talk about this in the foundation course? Because of the continuous pressure, continuous change in the technology and everything, we are always on our toes. We are always living, especially in the metropolitan cities, we are living a very stressful life, because we have to uh, uh, go from here and there, from we change our hat so often. Like sometimes we are like, if I have to talk about like a housewife and a person like me, who has to take care of the children also, who has to take care of the husband also, who has to take care of the college lectures also, who has to take care of the family with who are their in-laws also, so that you are on a continuous uh, roller coaster. You are not at ease. You have to do something or the other. You cannot just lie down and relax. So these are the things that create stress. So what are the causes? What is eustress? Eustress means positive stress. That means sometimes the stress is positive and sometimes it is negative, then it is called distress. Okay, and how do we manage this type of stress? So stress can be managed. If there are certain things that you have to follow, you have to imply, and then you can lead a stress-free life. Okay, so while dealing with the stress and conflicts, I'm going to even talk about how I'll be dealing with the Reiki healings and other ways, meditations, and what are the things, how to say no. Sometimes, some people, they have not in a habit to say no to other people, because they want to please everybody. So in that manner, what happens? They take extra load, and then the stress is created. So I'll be telling you all those things, so that you can remove the stress from your life without hurting anybody, but at the same time maintaining a boundary. And after certain time, you also have to decide that you don't have to just be on the कि यहाँ पे भी जाना है, वहाँ पे भी जाना है, everywhere. You don't have to show your face. Try to prioritize your things. Try to reduce the number of groups that you are involved in, and be with yourself for at least half an hour in a day, without your cell phone, without anybody disturbing you. Just go into that deep contemplation, and then you will get very good answers from inside only. You don't have to seek answers from outside. Okay, nobody can, even if I cannot tell you how to live stress free, you will get your answers once you start be in a meditative state. I'm not telling you to do mantras and all. I'm just going to tell you, how to be with yourself for half an hour, so that that half an hour, you may say that you are inactive, you are not doing, you're just wasting half an hour. No, that half an hour is going to give you, because when you settle on a physical term, sit for 30 minutes, it takes lot of time for your mind to settle. Your body will be fighting you in the first place, because you don't have the habit of sitting. So then your mind will start playing, you will start thinking about different things. But once body settles down, once the mind settles down, once the other realms of your personality, they settle down. Do you know there are other than body and mind, there are other aspects also which are related to your personality, that also I am going to talk about here in detail. One is your aura, that you always carry with you, because aura means the things that surrounds you. Okay, so if you are surrounded by positive thoughts and positive people, your aura becomes positive. Okay, but if most of the time you're thinking negative, so your aura has got a lot of negative thoughts in it, and then that impacts your physical body also. So this thing I'm going to talk in detail, because of the pandemic, everybody is going through a lot of stress. Okay, so I'm going to teach you some techniques also. And if you find somebody who is going through a lot of stress, so this will be my guru dakshina from you people, that you try to help that person. Whatever techniques I'm going to teach you in the 4th unit, okay, that you will be helping other people. In case you find somebody is going through a lot of stress, is somebody who's going through a bad phase of life, okay, somebody who has lost his loved one, that also creates a stress. Okay, so we'll be talking about all of these things. And in the third unit of the third chapter of the 4th unit, we'll be talking about social networking, how a social networking is a source of stress, and how it sometimes create conflicts. And sometimes social networking is also a very positive networking, because depends na what type of people you are dealing with. If you are dealing with people who are interested in only gossiping and pulling other people down and just spending money on restaurants and partying and all, so that after certain time it is going to create a stress on your pocket, it is going to create a stress on your time, because you have wasted your time there. But on the contrary, if you join some social activity which is going to make an impact on the society, if you join social work, if you take up each one teach one type of a small program where you will be giving at least 1 hour every day, that is not a big deal, isn't it, from your time. In case you give 1 hour for some social activity where you are trying to give it back to the society, so that creates a positive stress in your life, because in the inner of your heart, you are aware that you are doing something good, you are not wasting time, you are not wasting money, and you are not on the wrong path. Because ultimately when we are doing our good, we are doing good deeds, it shows up in your personality. And what is the basic reason we are doing this type of courses, foundation courses, basically to enhance your personality. Never ever think that going to a pub or a theater or to a restaurant will make you a better person. I am not against that. Go there. But if you are spending time there also, then spend time on the social activities for the benefit of other people also, so that you create, there is a balance. Okay, don't do everything for yourself, don't be so selfish. Try to find out somebody in and around your area who needs your help, and you will see a lot of difference when you give help. There is another positivity that is created in your aura, in your mind, in your body. So we'll be talking about all this because we want the new generation to be a helping generation, because of lot of this mobile usage, and everybody is becoming an island in itself. Like some, they don't need anybody, but human beings are a social animal. No matter what, आप जितना मर्जी कर लो, फ़ोन में आपको सब कुछ मिल जाएगा, बट अगर आपकी नेटवर्किंग अच्छी नहीं है, लोगों से मिलते नहीं हो, you are somewhere going towards the psychological illness, and it is going to happen very soon, because 30-40 years back these things were not there. Its impact will be seen in some time, in 20 years from now. Its impact will be visible. So this is the reason why these programs are added, so that to make you aware that your Google, your internet, your phone is not the life. Life is something else, that you have to go out and be with others. Okay, now in the 5th unit we'll be dealing with the concept of personality. What are the different types of personalities, and what are the determinants of the personalities? Like some are factors, like biological factors, which determines the personality trait. Sometimes it is the environmental and situational factor. So environmental and situational factors can be dealt with very easily, but biological factors, they are right from birth, so you can't do much with that. But still, with therapies and with constant medication, sometimes some personality disorders can be treated. But environmental and situation, it depends on you, what type of environment you are living in, that you have to decide. If the environment is not conducive, you can say no to that environment. Okay, that also comes in the human rights, to say no to that abusive environment. Then situational also, that also you will be dealing, because you will be dealing with different types of situation. You have just come out in the open world from school to a college. Now when you will be joining a corporate world, you will be dealing with many types of situations, many types of situations. So what are you supposed to do? You should be well equipped with that, right? You should know. Okay, so once somebody makes you aware of what are the things that can happen, that means you are forewarned, and forewarned means forearmed. You are already prepared for that. Forearmed means you are already prepared for that, because already a warning has been given to you. Now we'll be talking about in the 5th unit, 2nd chapter, different types of personality. What is neuroticism? What is extrovert? Extraversion means extrovert people sometimes they are very extrovert, and some of them are very introvert, and some of them are mix of both. Some people are very open, some people are concilious, and some are conniving, some are very generous. So we'll be talking about all these types of personalities. An overdose of anything is very bad. So we should never think that extroverts are very good. No. Overdose of extroversion is also bad. Overdose of introversion is also very bad. So we should have a balance somewhere. One should not be very open, because otherwise others starts taking advantage of you. One should not be very conniving, and one should not be very overly generous also. So you will be learning all these things in the 5th unit. And the 3rd unit will talk about personality assessment. What are the personality disorders? Split personalities क्या होती हैं? What is schizophrenia? What is obsessive compulsive disorder? And what is mutism? Selective mutism, what is that? And then we'll be talking about antisocial personalities. Some people are very antisocial. Okay, so how to deal with them? And if there is somebody who is among you dealing with these types of personality disorder, so we'll be trying to devise a solution, a program for them, because we sometimes don't even know that we are facing some problem. We know that we are not able to make friends. We know that we are not able to have a good relationship with others. But in the deep, you are actually dealing with a personality disorder which you don't even know. So once you come across some people who are totally, aggressive or very hyper or something, you find something very strange. So it will be a very good idea to start talking to that person, get him, get his personality tested by constant, it's not easy to persuade anybody to go for a test also. But it will be a very good idea to tell that person in a very, very, uh, nice manner, so that he doesn't feel offended also. If you are not able to talk to that person directly, then try to find somebody whom he listens to, then try to persuade so that he can go for that checkup. And you know what happens, basically you are trying to help that person, because that person is not aware that he is dealing with some disorder, and in the long run he loses out on his people. Everybody starts moving away from that person. But what is his problem, he doesn't even know. So once we get to know his problem, whether he's having schizophrenia or OCD or split personality or bipolar disorder, so at least these things can be cured with medication and with constant therapies. So why not? Why not make a person healthy? Because mental illness is something which has come up very strongly in the past 2-3 years because of the pandemic also. Earlier, these things were suppressed because people were very, very busy. Now, people have lost their jobs. Now, people have lost their near and dear ones. Now, people are constantly sitting at home and not getting that let out feeling. And these are the reasons that we have to deal with these things. Okay. Now, I'm going to end this lecture here only, because this is all about uh, the whole syllabus that we'll be dealing in this first semester. It was very important to give you an overview, because sometimes when you are going through a subject, you don't even know why we are doing it. What will be the outcomes? What we'll understand after going through that? So this was very important lecture. Now in the second lecture, in 10 minutes that I'm going to take up, I'll be talking about globalization. Okay, so we'll take a break of 10 minutes. Okay.